Alright, welcome back, gamers. It is time to talk about Pokemon again. Me and Brian are here, and we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, we're on week 5, and we have a lot of separation gaming. I'll call it some real heaters of sets from people who know how to play their teams, and those who are still trying to get a little bit of the hang of it. So
yeah, I think this is a really good set where we can see, we will see Crispy Will kind of take that step and kind of be like, hey, you guys have been hating on me a little bit, so let's see how this one goes. So in the
yeah, for
lead,
context, this is the undefeated match of the week where
yes,
both teams have not lost yet.
yes. So we will start this first turn. We see Slowbro and we see Metagross.
Those are two dudes who are looking huge.
Yeah. I don't know why Slowbro's nickname makes me giggle.
Yeah,
I could just see him yelling that, and that's funny to me.
But unfortunately for Drew, he's probably a little less gigglish at this lead set here because Slowbro is kind of tough for any Metagross. I would not really want to be in there on it.
Yeah. I mean, like, a choice band, like, obviously you could trade, like, a boom, but, like, you don't want to boom on turn 1, especially knowing that Dusclops is here, you know, so. So we're going to see Drew. He's going to run away and go into Electabuzz, and Will just goes right for the Calm Mind, knowing that Metagross doesn't want to deal with it. And that Toxic there was a little... I feel like was a little aggressive just because, like, this is a +1 Slowbro. I feel like you would want to get Chip, especially on, like, turn 2. Like, that Toxic is really nice, but we've seen that the Slow Twins, whenever they're Calm Mind, they have Rest, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Will is greedy, and he just goes for another one.
Yeah. I mean, I have to imagine that Surf would have done a ton of damage.
Yeah, and we see it here, 94.
Woo! That is a lot.
Yeah.
So it's now, KO, definitely.
Yeah, so Slowbro now has to go to bed. So good night, Mr. Slowbro.
Yeah, you see that Thunderbolt damage.
Another Thunderbolt doing 42, which is interesting. Because Will is staying in and taking Chip on his Slowbro. And now he switches out.
Yes, and more importantly, he's letting Electabuzz become a relevant match again.
Yeah. Also, look how much that Ice Punch did.
Nothing.
That's a nothing.
I mean, we just saw Thunderbolt do a ridiculous amount of Slowbro, and, like, Roselia takes it? No, I don't. That's crazy.
Can I have another?
Yeah.
I really like that spike. Plus, like, forcing Electabuzz to switch out being so low. And, like, yeah, the Tentacruel can spin, but, like, I don't think Roselia cares, because if Tentacruel spins on it, you can just keep setting up spikes. Or go for, like, a Stun Spore or something.
Right.
Or even get Slowbro back in, burn the sleep turns, which I like too.
Yeah, he has given a lot of chip out on Electabuzz, so and Roselia is pretty safe to come in later, I'd say.
Yeah,
so he doesn't need to like worry about keeping his spike around. He can just get Slowbro and burn the sleep and get the kill.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that either Drew forgot the sleep counter, or he's predicting like a Calm Mind or something. But Electabuzz just comes in on a Psychic and it drops.
Yeah, I think he was guaranteed to wake up that turn, right?
Yeah, that was the second. Yeah, he had 2 sleep turns.
Yeah.
We
so
see
now
more
we're just
Toxic
with his Slowbro, and kind of implies to me that the Slow King doesn't have Psychic if he didn't slam it right there. But also, Tentacruel is the perfect Roselia counter if Roselia doesn't want to hit spikes, because now we see
Liquid
funny, very funny.
Yes.
So knowing this, Will decides to get his final spike up, and honestly, a paralyzed Tentacruel isn't the worst result from that.
Yeah, also, we're talking about, it's either this Roselia is super fast, or this Tentacruel is, like, super bulky.
That Tentacruel is super slow, but was also paralyzed.
Oh, duh, I'm stupid.
I do remember seeing it. It wasn't a fast Tentacruel.
Oops. Anyway, he's dead now.
I think my favorite interaction with that is, that double edge doing, like, 92 to Tentacruel, and it was bulky, too.
Also,
yeah,
great prediction showing Choice Band Shadow Ball into incoming Slowbro. That was great.
In fact, pretty much means with that damage, you can just send that on the first turn now.
For sure. And now Will has to play differently.
Yeah.
And Zapdos, you know, he eats 57%, which is huge, but you get that 2-hit on Metagross, which is, honestly, that's a fair trade.
And, like, you're losing his Electabuzz means doesn't really have a good Thunder Wave or Thunderbolt switching, because I don't believe that Marowak would be here. So
no.
And all, with all the flying types around.
This is a very bird-heavy game.
Let's see if Will does the funny here. No, he just goes for a straight Nightshade.
Shade as he should. It's very safe mid-ground play. Kind of forces some switches around. Throws off a wisp.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, is he
Yeah.
gonna wisp the champ? We're gonna see it.
Yeah, so I like the wisp here. Then we see the Calm Mind. So Calm Mind, Toxic, Slow King. This has been a staple for Drew.
Special.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to like rest too much, which I think this might be the 1 week where rest would have gone a little hard.
Yeah. Because now
because
Slow
it
King
just doesn't quite get out. Yeah, it doesn't quite get the Dusclops down, although it's pretty low. And we actually see a really, really cool set here, like end game setup for Ments, because DD Long Ments at this point now outspeeds everything, and with the right coverage moves, thanks to the Slowbro being dead and the Dusclops being dead, kind of can sweep.
Yeah. Aerodactyl obviously gonna drop to Rock Slide, probably going for the dodge there, and we see Nidoking, and Drew goes for HP Flying, which means that he probably does not have Earthquake.
He did not have Earthquake. He had Toxic as the last move. So
Toxic, wow.
Yeah, to hit the walls on the switch, but unfortunately for him, the HP Flying, I don't think it was. It might have been a roll, but it wasn't good enough. No spikes.
Not enough. Yeah.
I know. And if he just had Earthquake, I think this game was over. But now we got to see, can Zapdos take out Machamp?
And he can.
And he can, because he's big Zap.
So, this was a really good game. Solid, just offensive showdown on both sides with enough like. Honestly, like this first game is like how our typical draft games kind of go. Like not as much in this format, but like we see it before, like DPP. Like this is kind of like the style where it's like good players playing like really good like mid games, mid ground plays, like then being aggressive when they need to, trying to hop on and like make crazy plays with like throwing out Calm Minds and everything. I don't know. It's just it was good. I liked it.
It was a great game 1.
It's a great game 1. So
and you
we will
just,
go into game 2. And we will see how did things change. Now that we know that is a Choice Band Shadow Ball, we see Mash to the crate and 53% to Slowbro, which is crazy.
All right. Well, he's got to switch out, unfortunately, unless he thinks he's crazy enough to get a double crit. But
But I don't know. I really like that play from Drew, just because like it's like, hey, I showed you my Shadow Ball, please respond, and Will said no.
Yeah, Will said I'm not here.
Like I feel like in most situations, like once you kind of put 2 and 2 together, you're kind of afraid. Like, yeah, Slowbro was pretty important in that first game. I kind of don't want to get put into range where I need to rest, letting in like Electabuzz for free.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Will doesn't have a Shadow Ball switching.
No.
So like. But if he did get the Meteor Mash boost on something else, then he doesn't really have a good Meteor Mash switch in, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and here we see like the Slowbro is around, and that was a pretty nice crit. I don't know if it mattered.
Yeah, I do wonder why he stayed in though.
I don't hate it just because of the call. Like you can Calm Mind and like what's this tentacle gonna do to you? Drew has kind of shown that.
I meant from Drew's side.
Oh,
when you have your Slow King. Yeah, you have the Slow King, you have the Electabuzz still, that full HP. You don't have to keep your Psychic Pokemon in. I don't know if he showed Psychic last game, but I'd always fear it, you know?
Yeah.
Surf and Psychic are generally good.
So
yeah.
Also, here's Metagross threatening a kill. We see Dusclops switching into the Shadow Ball. Brother, you can't do that. That is a ghost type Pokemon.
Not the switching. So
now Dusclops goes down for free.
Will needs to pick up a normal type. Thoughts?
No, an arrow comes in, threatens the Earthquake, right? There's no reason to over-predict at this point. This Metagross is a bit of a threat. And you don't really have Shadow Ball switches, you need to make that thing leave. So, throwing off Earthquake there is the great play. You can always be like, oh, he's going to switch out so I can throw off a Double Edge or anything. Sometimes you don't even need to make that play. You gotta...
Especially when there's nothing on his team that's going to resist the Earthquake. So, safe enough. Early game safe, and bam, you have a lovely Slowking counter here.
Exactly.
Even with Ice Beam, it's not going to do a whole lot.
Nothing.
And imagine if like Tentacles around to take on this Roselia, it would be a lot less annoying. But instead we get Ments, who eats a Stun Spore and now
has
is
free
doing
entry
game.
to click buttons.
And does he have HP Flying? He does. Very smart.
Yes. Correct play. Here comes Aerodactyl. Throw off a Rock Slide.
Boom.
And
he gets
big crit. Big crit. Huge.
Big crits this game, unfortunately, for Drew, but Will getting nice momentum from it. Let's see, does he go for the flinch? I think that's a little bit greedy, don't you?
Honestly, I don't hate the play because we've seen that Metagross is very scary. And this Mence has so many opportunities to DD that even if you you get a couple flinches on Metagross, you just get it lower, because now it might be in now this might have pushed it into Zapdos range.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And even attack boost, whatever. Here's Zapdos, Thunderbolt. It's gonna take it out.
Yeah, Zapdos range. Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of those things where you go, you know what, Aerodactyl would be really nice to have, but it's not necessary because Zapdos is gonna be able to handle most of what's left. And this is probably my favorite interaction of the set. We see agility.
We see agility and we see T-Wave. So right now the Zapdos is very slow, but
here comes Nidoking.
Now he's no longer slow.
So now Nidoking is in here with +2 speed, right? Going for sub just for scouting purposes, maybe scare away Electabuzz, but now Nidoking is cooking.
Yeah, and it's a pretty fun situation when you take out the only thing that really scares away Slowbro at the moment. And Drew goes for a hard read on Rock Slide, expecting Earthquake not to do 50 damage. Unfortunately for him, it does 50 damage.
I don't think he has Earthquake.
No, I'm saying, he goes for Rock Slide on Machamp instead of Cross Chop.
Oh.
So, this Nidoking outspeeds everything, right? So we'll just have to stay and hit EQ. Assuming, he's got the Ice Beam in the back here, obviously.
Yeah.
But if Drew went for 2 Cross Chops, the Nidoking dies, and then it's, Mence versus the final 2, which, probably isn't going to work. I don't know how much HP that Slowbro has. But, the Rock Slide was
53 and Toxic would have to rest, and then Mence would be able to clean up, yeah.
So, I feel like I know the Rock Slide was oh, I'm Machamp, and, maybe Zapdos tries to come in on Machamp more often, but, if you don't kill this Nidoking now, the game is over. So that's the only real mistake I would have pointed out from the set. Is just I feel there was a better play there on that champ, even if just going for a cross chop crit there. You saw a 2-shot. So
yeah, it's I also get where it's oh, maybe Will be afraid of Earthquake and goes into Zapdos again. A little bit of the let's predict a little bit. When sometimes you have to assess the threat in front of you, and you gotta respect what's in front. I think Will did a really good job of doing that in this set, where when there was something threatening, he didn't overpredict, he didn't make mid-grounds, he just said, okay, I'm going to go for this. If my opponent messes up, this is great for me. If they do the smart thing, no harm, no foul. I'll just position myself around this later, which I really like. So this was Will's best best set of the season so far, and for me, firmly established him in that upper echelon of teams. Yeah, and Drew played great too. Unfortunate crits, but this team's great. He's playing well too, so it's good overall.
It's good to see my boys showing up today.
Yes, 10 out of 10. All right, Brian, tell us a little bit about your set. As we see Quillfish and Porygon.
David and I got our set in at the last possible moment before the week, right? And I decided to bring a team that pretty much relied on what Adam was doing last game, his last game against David, which required a lot of good special attackers. But the biggest difference between my team and Adam's team is now David's had a week to prep for a lot of special attackers, and I think he brought a fantastic team to me, and I hacked the crap out of him. So, for starters, lead Quillfish here is literally here because it beats every single one of his leads. With the exception of Porygon 2, it's a mix, right? I either kill it with self-destruct, or I just get down a spike, or I play a 50-50 and try to survive a Thunderbolt. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep the Quillfish back in case I had to worry about things later. So I went to Jirachi, which was probably the worst mistake I could have done right off the bat.
Yeah, it's probably not an ideal switch in.
Because I didn't expect a T-Wave, right? I expected maybe a T-Bolt. Because Jirachi does beat that. Oh, yeah. Jirachi does beat a T-Tar Curse of Rob, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
He's cursed.
Really is.
But yeah, no, it was supposed to. Jirachi does beat that Porygon 2, but I can't get paralyzed. That's a mistake. Now it can't beat the Porygon 2.
Yes.
So, and he shows off Gligar, so I actually throw a Toxic off on the T-Tar there because I knew
he's going to have to switch out because you can't stay in, yeah.
Right, and Gligar is the worst possible answer to my team. And I expect an HP flying there. He just goes for an Earthquake. Now my Jirachi's basically Gunzo. But we're not sapping it yet. We notice he's not banded, so playing around a little bit of SD here.
They're off
so
HP flying. Your choice band, right? That was.
Oh, that's where he knew. Yeah, that's when he found out.
Yeah, they know Mr. Squidward.
They now know.
Yes.
I completely forgot to rename that Salamence to be an actual nickname. I had him as What's My Purpose because I could not figure out what sets are
I
on
don't
for
know. I think
6
that's
days.
funny.
Yeah.
So let's see.
we're
We got
getting,
some. It's a big
yeah, we're getting
damage. Toxic.
and right now, like, my team's a little bit ripped.
Yeah.
I lost my special wall. My second special wall here is down to 29, and spoiler alert, there's not a lot of walls left on the team.
Yeah, but that big crit into Ampharos kind of makes up for that fact.
Sure does.
Especially when he returns.
Yeah.
We saw
here's
last
Pikachu
week that
too.
Pikachu goes crazy versus David's team.
Yeah, and turns out, looking at this Porygon 2
man.
damage number, it doesn't go nearly as hard as it would have against him last week, because that Thunderbolt against David's Porygon 2 last week did 50. This time it did 39.
Yeah, so we got a more specially defensive one.
100% a special duck, so that's something to keep in mind for later.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually set the rain here. I don't remember why, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I was going to get paralyzed.
Yeah, interesting decision. But here's Dugong.
He said that. Oh yeah, it's Persona 5.
Yeah, so
The
Dugong
real
is here,
Persona 5.
and looking at what's left, Dugong's looking real good.
I really think Dugong is actually a good mod, and I'm considering picking it up in free agency. But like, I do like Corey's T-Wave was a mistake in
Yo,
Pokemon.
he's got Thief. That's cool.
We all spam the gong in the soundboard for that.
Good.
But yeah, no, he was a thief. He was a thief because he's playing Persona 5 out there. So unfortunately for me, he knows that they actually do know I'm Mystic Water now.
Mm-hmm.
And we just do the late game spike self-destruct here to get Pikachu in, quote, safely.
And you could throw off Thunderbolts.
I can throw off 2 Thunderbolts before I die, which is nice.
Which is more than enough.
And now watch as David doesn't sack his duck, and instead it now sacks it to the sand.
Yes.
Because it goes before lefty, so the spike actually mattered.
Spike is huge.
And then he's only left with Suicune, so...
Who is dead. Oh, except he's not.
No, he actually does live. Yeah, he does live in Pikachu's default, but he did have to get forced to rest early.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily for me, as long as I don't get paralyzed, Ludicolo in the back just
Ludicolo just kind of sits on this guy.
Yeah, and he was like, just go abandoned meds. Go into your abandoned meds. And I'm like, is he tricking me?
I feel like
Why is he saying such lies to me, Matt?
I don't know why he would do such a thing.
Turns out
he's forced to go to bed, and he's just
only has Surf.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a decision.
Yeah. It's an interesting one to run Crokun against Mence week, but we'll see if the rest of his team plays up. Because again, he has a lot of answers for
and you did get a lot of really nice crits.
Oh, that game 1 was I actually felt bad for David. No, that game was probably his. That game was definitely his if he didn't get crit as much.
Yeah. All right, so let's see how this lead goes. Now you get your spike, because you see how important it is, and goodbye.
And I knew the Thunderbolt was coming. I just didn't expect to die. It was a little bit less. Like, I calced that range out like days ago, right? Mm-hmm. And it was favorable to live. I knew it wasn't perfect, but didn't get the good roll, which is okay. So I go right into Rachi and get a sub up. I'm just chipping the T-Tar. I want to see what he is, right? And I get to see what he did last set. And I see lefties, EQ. So I'm like, okay, at least it's physical, right?
Oh, he's got Thunder Wave!
He has the T-Wave.
That's awesome.
T-Wave. And I'm like, his whole team is just hitting me with T-Waves today.
Yeah, that's what David does that a lot, though.
This is kind of nice for him.
Yeah, David hit a Thunder Wave challenge. He slams that shit.
Yeah, he dunks it in. Anyways, I'm like, cool. I'm paralyzed now. I'm just gonna break this Dugong to death.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, he can take my lefties. That's okay. I do not want him taking my Pikachu's Light Ball. It is not fun.
No, you're gonna need that. Otherwise, you got a useless Pokemon.
Exactly. Because I didn't even run Encore on it this game, so it's like, okay, it's literally doing nothing. So he goes into Suicune and starts Calm Minding early, and knowing that I've now actually seen all 4 of his moves. He's shown Rest, Surf, Roar, and
Calm Mind.
And Rest. Oh, Calm Mind. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like, oh, cool. Mence just sits on this now.
Yeah. Now you can kind of just throw off big moves, and Suicune's kind of neutralized.
Yep. And now I'm like, I can actually take my Ludicolo to do other things, which is nice.
Yeah, Ludicolo.
Even getting rid of the sand if I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hitmontop comes back now. Definitely worth the Intimidate on Amphi here.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like this is more of a Hitmontop like kind of sack at this point.
Yeah, and I have Mach Punch just to help out too. Yeah. So I figured the T-Tar actually isn't too scary since Mence is around still.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit worried about keeping the Pikachu alive, although it turns out it wasn't too important. And I actually called a Rock Slide here on Gliscor coming or Gligar coming in instead of EQing the Amphi.
Yeah, that was definitely the right play.
It actually would not have killed Ampharos, so I definitely needed him to switch.
There's no way Amphi would stay in. It's honestly too threatening to your team right now. There's flinch.
And then I get the biggest flinch of my life there because pause the game. This is a funny Gligar that's running Protect, EQ, Rock Slide, and something else that I do not remember. Probably Toxic. I don't know. But he didn't have. He had Rock Slide over HP Flying specifically for Ments, so that flinch actually made it so he didn't get to hit me. And then he stalls out a few more turns here. And sends in T-Tar. And I maybe should have kept the Ments alive, but I went, no, I'm going to just get T-Tar into Surf range. So.
And then you can kind of just Pikachu him.
Actually, when I said Surf range, I meant Thunderbolt range, but I hit Surf anyways because I didn't want to hit Amphi.
Yeah, no, Surf was definitely the right play there.
Yeah.
Poor Amphi.
And now we're gonna learn a little bit about David here.
Look at that.
Look at that light screen.
That's game.
What a beast. He has brought Special Defensive Duck, Light Screen Ampharos, and my Pikachu is doing 11 now.
Yeah,
like
that's how you come back. I don't want to lose to Pikachu.
That's how you come back from a weakness. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. No, I now have to just sack the Pikachu, right?
Yeah, he's kind of done.
And reveals Fire Punch, but Jirachi is not safe either.
No, not at all. But Ludicolo could kind of clean up here. You got to eat the para, which is okay in the long run.
I was actually happy he went out for a para instead of Thunderbolt there. Thunderbolt still does a lot of damage.
Way too much damage. And even even with the light screen, like it'll even kill.
No.
So yeah, definitely not going for the Thunder Wave. Would have been a better play.
Duck comes in. He's now the fastest Duck, so I will not be putting up the rain for him.
Nope. And then
but
with Jirachi,
Duck,
yeah, kind of easy to. A lot less hacks in this one, except for that Rock Slide, but overall,
the one Rock Slide flinch mattered. No, this is actually acceptable. I kind of want Ludicolo to die here because if I get Jirachi in safely, he's not dying by the way because of Leech Seed, but pretend he's dying.
Yes.
Jirachi gets in and has. Yeah, Jirachi has sub Calm Mind and will never be able to be broken by a Porygon 2 behind the sub. So now that he's dead, I can, instead of being paralyzed and having to deal with, hacks, which isn't too bad if just Porygon 2's here, but I could always just set up the sub if he was at high HP and work that out. So we don't need it. We had Psychic for T-Tar.
Yeah, good end game there. Again, that flinch on Gligar was really the oof. But other than that, I think you kind of got him there. But that first game was... Yeah. That was not great.
I think the team definitely got bailed out by hacks game one, and then keeping Jirachi more alive in the next game was very, very important because it's just such a good mon in the sand compared to the rest of my team.
It is. Yeah, the fact that you can actually heal in sand, which is something that we've seen David's team is really struggling with because he has all these defensive pieces that hate sand. I'm really looking at Suicune here. And it's we haven't seen Suicune do its thing at all. And I think that it's just a victim of sand. And I think looking at free agency, as good as Suicune is, I think if David is really trying to build with Tyranitar, he might need to look a little bit elsewhere. Which is fucked, but...
Or maybe just consider bringing more hyper-aggressive Suicune sets, with Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, HP Electric, and not worrying about the setup, just getting the damage while you're out there.
Yeah, even without rest, lead it off, click Calm Mind, click Pump, start doing damage. Because there is nothing that's not Zapdos that's going to immediately threaten you with very strong moves that you need to fear for your life. And boom, that's boom.
And I think David showed that his team is better than his record at the moment. It's like you look at this team and you go, oh, that team's bad. But, if you didn't get hacks, this was a definite big set. And I think with free agency coming around, he's going to clean up his weaknesses and be a really, really big threat.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll go into you want good gameplay because this one is a little unfortunate just in terms of some hacks and some things. So
no, this was great gameplay. I got to see Skarmory on the screen.
Yes. So
this is real Gen 3.
We see Bennett lead, and I'll be honest, this didn't even cross my mind. I didn't even think Adam was going to bring Bennett at all. When I saw him, I was like, oh, that's neat. But thinking about it, yeah, that Shadow Ball is very strong. So.
Yeah, and it's not even banded Shadow Ball, so it's I mean, he's not a tank. Let's just be honest, right?
No, because I mean that's
was select. if this is like a select Barry Bonnet set, then he's a lot better. But unfortunately, it's lefties, and sometimes it's hard to consider what your Mon should do when it's so when you haven't used them yet this season, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe you can start using it a little more like a Glalie lead-ish kind of Mon. But hey, we get Dwayne in here safely.
Yeah. So Dwayne is in,
Right,
so I gotta get my guy out of here, and then I can bring in Skarmory and immediately start to apply pressure. So with this team I built, I was actually very afraid of an offensive Regirock, even though I know that Adam needs to run it especially defensive in order to handle Raikou.
Yeah.
But I still had to, keep him honest with that. So I went with Skarmory as my initial switch in, strictly for the purpose of I want to establish my Spike's presence immediately.
I mean, there's nothing that Regirock can do besides blow up that would like scare Skarmory, right?
So honestly, the real thing is Houndoom is very threatening to my team, and I didn't want to give it a free entry, but I needed to get the Spike down more than dealing with
yeah, there's no reason. There's literally no reason to double switch on that, just because you can. Like, I don't. Maybe if you didn't have a Flareon and a Vaporeon around, right?
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, okay, Houndoom. You want to double switch because Houndoom's just that guy, right? But now the Spike is here, and Flareon completely walls this thing to death and doesn't kill it, which is pretty surprising with HP fighting.
I'm really
right?
shocked. It was a roll, and it was heavily in my favor.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
Here
by
we
that.
see the switch out, thinking, oh, we gotta spike it. Rapid spin the Spike and everything.
Well, I mean, he switches out because there's literally he cannot break this unless he gets a special defense drop.
Yeah.
And now we get a nice, beautiful Wish Pass out, and then just the raw Calm Mind. You're bold.
Yeah. So I expected Blastoise to run away, and he didn't. So that was a really good roar from Adam. Definitely was keeping me honest, and was willing to eat some damage on his Blastoise, which is totally fair.
The only sad part is that he doesn't have a Spike up.
No, he does not. So I'm going right back to Skarm, because I'm thinking, you know what? If he's gonna spin, I'm gonna make him work for it. So here's a Toxic for your troubles.
Always something I can consider later on is Blastoise does get Refresh and could literally just kind of sit with Skarm forever. It's very funny.
I kind of wanted it to.
That
so I was fully expecting to just let him spin, get up a Spike, and then eventually pivot out and threaten it. But I wasn't really in a rush because I was like, it's fine. I can hang out here. So I go for the double Toxic, knowing Blastoise doesn't need to be here anymore. So I actually thought I'd sneak and get Houndoom just to finish it off, trying for him to get it in aggressively. But Jolteon works really well too.
Yeah, it turns out this team is not able to handle status conditions.
No, it cannot. So here's Mr. Squidward. Throw off a Wish. And
you protect?
Yep. Yeah. So Adam makes a good play, goes right into Regirock.
Reginald.
And I'm thinking, all right, what's he gonna do? What's his immediate answer? There's the Rock Slide. And this time I go Flygon. Thinking, you know what? I'd like to keep. I don't want to do the Scarb thing over and over again. I tried to get his. I thought he was coming in because what's Regirock gonna do? He misses Toxic, which is very unfortunate. This time, I go back to Skarm and I go, okay, I'm gonna get the Spike.
I just have to see, when I'm playing the Regirock side of this battle, right? I'm thinking, I literally cannot touch Skarm whatsoever, right? And that's bad because you can't be spamming Toxic when you know that Skarm is around the corner. And yeah, I mean, I wish he hit the Flygon, right? Maybe there's a world where Banded Superpower Regirock does better or something in the future for this kind of matchup.
Against this matchup, 100%. I was very afraid of it.
But when it's not here, so when it's not here, and all you have is EQ, Rock Slide, Toxic, and whatever the fourth move is. I think it was Rest in this case, right?
Yeah.
You gotta start making double switches, I think, and it's hard to do that. No one's done that really that well this year.
You gotta at least even if you throw off the the Toxic again or the Rock Slide, whatever, then you don't stay in and get the chip because I'm gonna heal that chip off in no time at all. Because Houndoom is so low, this is a time where you need to be aggressive and get that thing in while you can. Because forcing a spin with Blastoise is it's sadly a passive play, and I could take advantage of that because if I just get Raikou in again and throw off more damage, you're in a tricky spot.
Here comes Raikou again, as stated, and doesn't take a lot from that T-Bolt, sadly.
So I'm going right for Calm Mind again, and I'm getting roared every single time.
Yes,
which is annoying, but it is what it is. So I got my Glue Eater here as my spin blocker. Right, kind of meant to handle everything. I let it go down. It's not the end of the world. I know that Houndoom can't trap me because I got a spike up, and I'm gonna be faster than everything else. So I can pull out my my trap card, which is a good old Destiny Bond, and I can take Blastoise with me and get a kill on Houndoom.
It's just a wash. It's a wash. Now Flygon, or sorry, now Skarmory is the only dude left, right? And Houndoom's dead.
Bro.
Flygon's bad.
No, I actually was minus special attack nature, so.
Obviously that makes sense, right?
Also.
Although weirdly enough, like in a world where your Skarmory was down here, it was totally possible for Adam to win, but it's literally impossible for him to beat Skarmory with all that's left at the moment. So, as funny as that sounds, because your Skarmory has 0 attacking moves.
Yeah, I did not have attacking moves, so.
But it is that much of a threat to his team that it can sit there with no attacking moves and win the game.
Yep.
And now you just go for the flamethrower, right?
Yeah. Finish it off. He roars me out. And then
he
reveals Vaporeon, who was hiding in the back the whole time.
Information for game 2.
Yes. I was kind of hoping to keep him hidden, but like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wasn't. It was pretty obvious he was here.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring Vaporeon like every week. So.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been Delibird for once,
Yeah, right. So we go right into game 2. And let's see, we're gonna see going right to Zapdog, and I'm dropping a sub, knowing that that Thunderbolt did way too much damage. I'm kind of chilling back here, so I can get a little chip on this guy, get a good critical hit for good measure, and then get Flygon, which is pretty good for me. I'm spec to live this.
And, yeah, it's a really unfortunate use of Jolteon, because I love the Roar, right? But you can't do the Flygon HP Ice. You cannot do it until you see him chipped down a bit. So,
especially knowing
it's pretty much any game. Like it doesn't matter what generation it is. Flygon's usually around to take an HP Ice. So.
I'm like max special defense pretty much. It's not an easy thing to live. I've already fought Jolteon, so I knew the number.
Yeah, and I went out of my way to say, I'm like, Adam, he's going to be spec to live in HP Ice. Please don't click it if he's at 100, unless you want to literally just give up your Jolteon for the damage. But, I mean, in this matchup, if Skarmory's alive, I think I would have chosen to maybe make that call later in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
But hey, he's getting damage right now with Surf, which is really cool, because in this gen, like, this is a legitimate way to beat Skarmory. Just slam it with Special Surf, right?
Yep. And then
he's got to leave at some point, or he doesn't get his spikes up. But I'm surprised he didn't go into Vaporeon there.
So I want to keep my spike up right now, especially with Blastoise Toxic. I want to get that thing low to where it can't even threaten to spin. So I want to play my spikes game a little bit more than I did in the first one, because before I was more passive, and he's seen my Destiny Bond, so I'm not as like, oh, I gotta keep my funny little surprise.
This funny little surprise has been brought up for multiple weeks now by multiple people.
Yeah, but like you never know until you see it.
Exactly. It's hard to remember.
Good para from Adam to save himself.
I mean, he could have been hitting anything that turn, and you don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see what it is.
I guess we never will. So
we'll never find out.
So I like.
My guess is it was probably knockoff, which is a good knockoff mon to hit for sure. Yeah. I like him keeping his Banette around. Yeah, his Banette. Sure. Keeping Banette around was much more important game 2, I think. But you do the right play there. Nope, you're keeping that.
I'm not letting him spin. I'd rather let him kill me, trap me with Houndoom, than do that. So.
Correct. And that Surf did a lot of damage, but I mean, when I say a lot, it wasn't really that much.
See, so
I'm surprised he didn't sack his Blastoise that turn.
Yes, I was just about to say that. I understand like keeping the sack, but like at the same time, this probably is a time where he can go down, because I've kind of played this game like you're not getting to spin, and
I know he was upset after that because he's like, damn it, I can't. I realize now there's a spike on the field and I'm going to die on entry, and that's my spinner and all that. But like this was the perfect turn here to bring it back in, not take the Toxic on Dwayne even if you wanted to, and then you can bring in a better counter like Houndoom safely because he dies. But Unfortunately for Adam, he is just not hitting his rock slides today.
No.
I do like the second spike though. Ooh, even the third.
I got
get
the
all
third.
three.
I mean,
oh, I missed another one.
It was just very sad.
Triple somewhere punching air right now, saying HP Rock is better. And he's right.
He's kind of spit.
And now look at all that toxic damage you got on Regirock. You can't take the surf anymore.
Yep. Now at this point, Vaporeon is gonna run through this unopposed.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this Bennett had Destiny Bomb, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, oh shoot.
No.
Maybe it matters.
So I'm gonna
But
click
he's paralyzed,
Surf.
so he's dead. Yep. And then Houndoom and Skarm. Oh,
There's
that's
Skarm.
a move. This is the difference between the two Skarm teams, right? Your team's able to get those spikes up much easier than Adam's.
Yeah. I get the spikes up and I keep them up.
Yeah.
That's
and
the thing.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, that crit just sped this John up.
Yeah, no, there was nothing left to do.
You know. So that's that. My only thing to Adams, I told him after the game. Notice how like on my screen, Skarm is the third Pokemon out. In game 1, it was the second, and for you, it was the 5th, and in game 1, it was the 6th. Get that thing on the field. Get your spikes up. Otherwise, you're not getting what you need out of it.
Even if you're willing to go like your Skarm versus his Skarm in this case, like yeah, you knew it had taunt, we knew it had taunt,
Yeah.
but you can just get it in there and get a free layer of spikes up anyways. Like he doesn't have his spinner. It'll hit Raikou, it'll hit Vaporeon, it'll hit Flareon. And sure, he's got 3 levitating mons, so it's not as important, but you can at least get the Skarm in and do a little bit of chip on those to help the rest of the team
And
out.
the scary Pokemon to his team are the ones that touch the ground.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
He
the
does
thing.
not care about
Yeah.
yours. Like,
And if you're
sure, your
really
Skarm rewalls
annoyed by
everything.
the whole existence of, you can block my spin, you have the second best pursuiter in Houndoom. You can just delete me.
Yeah, Houndoom had to do too many jobs today, I think.
That's one of those things where it's like, he definitely could have done it, like, in the turn where he went into Bennett. Like that one, you could have gone to Houndoom.
On the Houndoom and hit Pursuit, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. So
I think the number one thing is he's not happy with his OU usage. I say just keep him alive. It's pretty much everyone that's having trouble with their OUs. Just keep them alive. Get them in a position where they want to be in. Don't sack them unnecessarily.
Play to your strengths of your Pokemon, not as much of you as a player. Fall back on what your mon is good at. I don't like playing this very slow, methodical kind of thing all the time, but like I picked Skarmory so that it's like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do. So I surrounded it with Pokemon that do that. Adam likes to play, I'm going to kill you in 10 turns, and then took Skarm first, which is fine. But like, if you're not using Skarmory to push what you want to do, like I feel like there's too many moving pieces and nothing concrete that's really stuck.
I think this team's also just better, and that makes it. He's going to have to outskill. He's going to have to make a lot of hard reads to get around. Like I look at your 6 here, right, and every single one of them is equipped to deal with Skarm. Where I look at his 6, and there's 3 that can beat Skarm. There's 3 that can even touch Skarm. So he's got 3 deadweight mons versus Skarm, and that is, that's also a team. It's not like it's really a team comp thing, right? Like Adam's team has unfortunately had to be brought that way, which makes it a lot harder to get Skarmory, but you still need to try and get it out when you can. And I think in the next upcoming weeks where you're not fighting, like I know it's next week's against Jordan, right? There's no electric type there. It's Plusle. Like Skarmory should be in a lot better spot. There's no fire type. It's camera up. Like you will be able to get Skarmory in a lot more times. I think you'll find it'll do a lot more work.
Yeah, so. You will have to deal with Claydol, who could spin effectively, but as we've seen, you could deal with Jordan's team with a strong ghost move. But for now, we got a showdown of some buddies. We got Ernest and Dante together. I actually didn't watch this set because I heard a lot of funny things, so I wanted to get my live reaction.
Oh, you're gonna enjoy it, yeah.
All right,
we all enjoyed it. It was a great set.
Okay. You know what?
That's Ditto, big dog.
That's Ditto.
Oh, we love Ditto.
And there's 2 Espeons. Look at that.
There are now 2 Espeons, correct. Fun fact: you can transform through sub.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Dante, for some reason, goes to Weezing after transforming into Calm Mind, Baton Pass, Espeon, knowing that it only has Psychic, and I think that's the time we got to pull out the Pokemon type calculator. But here we see Ditto actually being Gen 5 again.
Yeah, hold on.
Getting basically imposter. So they're going to sit around for a little bit here.
psychic. Okay. More psychics. Can't break the sub. This is very funny.
He definitely can't break the sub, but he's also a special defense down. So now we see Shiftery in here with 3 times special attack and special defense hitting
With
physical moves.
Shadow Ball, with physical move. Wow.
Because he knows that he only went to Shiftery knowing the Dante's Ditto, in this case, only has Psychic.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know what Dante's, if Dante's trying to PP stall here or not, but he needs to baton pass this to something else.
And
it does not. It dies. But you know what? Ditto made the day. Ditto made it to more matches than Showdown ever will, and we appreciate that.
True. So we got the Will-O-Wisp there. I like that play just because, you know. Oh, we got agility. Hold on.
Yeah, you got to burn the physical attacker hitting Shadow Ball. Makes sense to me. And we get a greedy Calm Mind here from Suicune.
Agility.
Calm Minds.
Wow. Look at this.
Agility Roar.
Agility Roar.
It's a mood.
It is something. There's Flamethrower.
Well, he is the fastest bird right now, so he can actually hit these flamethrowers. Yeah, he can outspeed.
Oh, he's zooming again.
He's really fast now. He doesn't need to go much faster.
No, he's already outrun the entire world.
At this point, you got to hit Roar, so I hope he did.
Yep,
nice job,
good. There it is. Here's Gengar. You're faster. It's time to throw out some Flamethrower.
How are you not faster?
Roar. Oh, Dante, my guy, please ask for help building. Please.
It's really funny that this is almost legitimately like a fantastic set if you can find a way to get Suicune off the field.
If you kind of, yeah.
Like the agility flamethrower kind of goes crazy against Ernest's team. But we get Sub Blissey. Did you know Blissey is a substitute gamer?
Apparently.
And has seismic toss.
Okay, good, as it should.
Burn Shiftery, you know. Not gonna be doing too much of these brick breaks.
Get a KO here. Nope, we're getting another sub. Alright, so we'll probably see a soft boiled or something here.
I imagine you'll see a soft boiled here.
Yeah. Alright, so
that was officially score 1 for the Blissies back home.
The Blissies have gotten a dub. There's Gligar.
That Gligar looks banded to me. And oops, type matchups.
Wave and ground types. Oh, right, cool. That's.
And switches to Venusaur. Still not expecting it to do a lot, but hey, you know, at this point, you got to go to Moltres, and he's finally here. So we sacked Venusaur for no reason.
Yeah, we're roaring.
If something looks like it's hitting a little too hard, it's banded. That's generally the case.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately for Moltres here, does not beat Raichu.
There he is.
And, there's our friend.
There he
goes.
gets
Issue Grass. So once again, we have Blissey versus the world. In, weirdly enough, not the worst scenario ever.
Yeah, I've seen Blissey do harder things. I love that Encore, though.
But it's now over.
Oh, and the Focus Punch! Yes! Yes!
Kaboom! It's kind of funny that it doesn't actually win. Because, you know, it can't break it unless it crits.
Like that. Nice. Let's go. Focus Punch. Thank you.
Encore Focus Punch is a legitimate strat.
I like that. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and we love that it's Raichu, because Pikachu can't do that. Raichu can.
Yeah.
Thank you not having to run Light Ball.
That's true. So we don't see the Ditto interaction again.
Yep, and right into Shiftery, which is interesting. I would have expected maybe Gengar behind a sub here would have been pretty nice.
Especially because we've seen that like Gengar can't get touched behind a sub. But the 2-hit with Brick Break is nice, and then Blissies are dying again.
And Blissey's dead.
Right,
well, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, no, it was.
And now we got the best sub-seeder in the game, or sleep seeder, and unfortunately, it gets one turn woke up and eats 18%, and now it's toxic.
All right, hold on. I'm going on a soapbox again.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Dante, by legal contract, you are only allowed to run one status move on your Pokemon at a time. Stop.
But Matt, it's kind of a baller move if you think about it, right? Because he's asleep, he's seated, he's got to switch out.
No. No.
Yes.
No. I'm trying to help my friend Dante. Listen, no.
Anyways,
you think on another planet than most human beings. Dante, you need to run one status move max. Have different moves that can do damage that aren't status, because you will lose to the move substitute over and over again.
It's true.
Which is what has been happening today. Anyway.
Here's Ditto.
Here's Ditto.
Ditto having getting crit here, but actually would have survived 2 of these because he does have the silver powder.
Yes. I don't even know what that is.
It doubles, I think it doubles Ditto's defense. It's like it's 1 item or whatever that doubles his defense when he's not transformed yet. It's very funny. Anyways, here's Calm Mind Espion. Hopefully he SP jumps this. And he does! He SP jumps to Weezing. Everyone's favorite special attacker. Well,
it could have runs fire moves.
It could. It sure could have it. I mean, it's definitely the right player to pass to against a Shiftry, so I don't hate it. But and now Espion's dead, I believe.
And now he's got Psychic. And now
nice. Now he is the world's best special attacker.
You're right. There he goes. Here's
there goes
Ditto.
my hero.
Ditto's gone.
Oh, but it's Todd. Goodbye, Todd Gaming.
Goodbye, Todd.
And Chardinal, let's see if he's hit Flamethrower this turn. He does. Good job. No 6-0s today, right?
Yeah, so we're back to Suicune.
Except here, Suicune.
Oh, that's a big miss on Wisp. We're probably going to see Roar. Yup.
We're going to see nice.
Here's Raichu. Big T-Bolt.
Funny enough, that Raichu could have encored the Roar.
That's true, it could have, but like, do you really want to deal with that? It's annoying.
Oh no, Moltres is base 90, right? Yeah, you could encored the Roar then.
It's Focus Punch!
And here's Focus Punch Quack, he's dead.
Oh, he's gone.
Still cool,
There's
though.
Venusaur, he's at 39%.
He can take one. But he's not gonna, because
and like,
gets to come in.
Anyway, I'd like to return to my previous rant. Now look at this. You have Earthquake. That's a bird.
Well, what's he gonna do? He's trying to Earthquake the Raichu.
No, I'm just saying. Your 4 moves. Yeah, you have Leech Seed Toxic. That's fine, right? But like, imagine if one of those status moves was like a grass move or like literally any other type to hit the thing your move can't hit. That's just like a general thing. It's like less status, more like make sure you can actually do damage if you need to do it to win a game. That's all. Anyway, bye-bye Venusaur.
I don't think we saw Gengar this game, did we?
No, he was hiding. He was acting like a manager. He just said, "Hey boys, go win the game."
Yeah, go win the game. Gligar's a boy. I'm glad somebody's finally running Banded Gligar. I think that's actually the good one.
Well, David ran
in like 90% of situations.
It didn't do anything. Well, Banded Gligar has been doing it this week. But, yeah. Anyway, I haven't watched this.
I'm actually going to counterpoint myself here. Every Gligar is good. But try SD Gligar.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Regice Typhlosion. Good
lead from Bannon. Typhlosion does 70% to Regice? That's the only thing I can assume that nickname means.
I see.
No clue. No further context. Anyways, here's a Thunder Punch.
Eating a Surf right down into Pataya Blaze. Oh, that's nice.
It's actually fantastic, because now...
That's a kill. Wahoo!
We love when our fire types beat the water types, and
that's big crit. Did this matter?
I don't want to think that crit mattered. I don't think that crit mattered.
There's a little fake out.
Fake out Shiftry is so cool. In fact, it's so cool that Bannon thought he could use it multiple times, so he just clicked Sunny Day for fun.
That's funny.
And here comes
HP Fire. I love it. I love it. That shit's cool. Look at that. Boom. 37. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice.
Buy Zapdos.
Anyways, buy Zapdos. Regice is better.
True. Alright, so here's Omastar. We're going to lay a Spike.
We're going to lay a Star from the Sun, unfortunately.
Thunder in the Sun.
50% accurate.
Wow.
We love Aaron Reyes.
Aaron Gaming. There's the Spike. Good. And here's Snorlax.
So Regice is kind of bringing it back.
Regice is kind of doing it, but here's Snorlax, and with Metachamp gone...
What stops it? Who knows?
So here's a Boom for 69.
Nice.
And Jirachi's in, knowing...
I actually really like the situation Aaron has put himself in with a paralyzed Snorlax and just booming it and getting it down to a point where Jirachi can then kill it. However, Aaron's a greedy guy and is not respecting the damage roll.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to play for the para, and he was wrong. He should not have played for the para. Imagine he just hit Psychic and won that game. Yeah. Instead, we have to watch the Fortress be the 6th Mon again. And Aaron understanding the assignment here.
Still doesn't kill because Fortress sucks.
I need to know what Fortress is. He's never going to show me the set. I need to know if it has any attack investment, because that should kill.
No.
It must be max defense instead.
Probably.
But like, yeah, get Fortress in earlier.
Yes.
Otherwise, this happens.
Yeah, kind of like how I was saying with Skarmory. When you have this Spikes Pokemon, you should get it in and get it doing its thing, because otherwise it's just dead weight. If it's not doing what it needs to do, it's useless.
At the very worst, it's like it's causing a tie with Explosion. Like it should never be the last mon on the field.
Yeah.
Your Spiker, Spinner, Exploder, never the last mon. Anyways, we're back to game 2.
Anyway, it's more Typhlosion gaming. There's a sub.
We love sub.
A little bit. Little Thunder Punch, 40%. So
the biggest difference here is
switch, or are we gonna see sub down to Pataya? No,
we're gonna see some T punches here, and he's gonna die, and the crit did not matter.
That did not matter.
Because it did about that much damage without a crit. So, but we do get a free switch to Zapdos, and we see Fortress come in.
Fortress comes
earlier.
in, and
nice.
I guess we did pay attention, because that is HP Fire, and now he's gone.
I honestly believe Fortress could do work if Aaron's entire team was not weak to fire.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bigger issue here.
Yeah.
He's got to build his Fortress in a way that can maybe somehow deal with some of the weaker fire hits, but I don't know what that is.
I feel like it's one of those things where, like, Fortress has to either, like, lead, do its thing, and then give up, or Aaron needs to go into free agency and get Pokemon that aren't weak to fire.
Correct. Like other Pokemon to support it, absolutely. Yeah. If he wants to keep it. And here's a Thunder missing, unfortunately, but it's
Gengar is there as an option.
True.
To go and get over Fortress, do that.
Nobody respects Gengar, dude.
I know, it makes me sad. Aaron getting very greedy with the SD, and then gets crit for his trouble.
I don't hate the SD on the cursed up Snorlax, because I know you're not dealing with a lot anyways, but man, like, that's unfortunate.
The first one I get. The second one is greedy.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
and now he's going to attempt to do the things that have won him games this season, which is bulk up Metacham with Reversal and Shadow Ball.
But the problem is...
And I respect him getting down to Slack Berry range, and getting down... He has the right EV spread to get down to the 1 HP. Sadly, just don't think... It might just be a little too early to be doing this, because you've only got one boost, and that is MF Sableye, and he takes 50.
Yeah.
So... if he managed to break down Sableye before this, then I think that was totally the right time.
It gets a nice freeze.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Jirachi all of a sudden is able to circuit up Calm Minds and everything.
Yeah, now we got some Calm Minds, all the...
Big damage with Ice Punch, going to bed, and now
we're going to see
a little change.
Wow. Now he booms, right?
Boom, right? No.
That's alright.
Boom now.
Any boomers?
Nope.
Maybe he didn't. You know what? He's Sunny Day. Maybe he didn't have boom.
Maybe.
Because
he just got all the sleep turns, so I guess it worked out. But yeah, that Jirachi definitely could have cleaned up that game.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what's in the back for Bandit's team, if I'm being honest. That was Omastar, so probably cleans it up too.
There's Sunny Day.
Now we're gonna see a Solar Beam, I assume.
Oh, it's Sleep Talk.
Sleep Talk.
That's cool.
I keep expecting this whale to blow up, but he
never
he's not the kind of.
He's not about that life.
He's the defensive kind. Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
good work by Ben.
Bannon playing well.
Man, that Papaya Berry Typhlosion really showing off its work.
It did, yeah. That was a great lead call. And
I don't think we've actually seen anybody run Papaya Berry except for Manectric, which does it pretty standardly. So doing it on a Typhlosion is really nice.
I know that's like a standard like, set for Typhlosion. Is like Sunny Day Papaya to do big fire damage. But
I think more people should experiment around with some of the Lychee and Papaya Berries.
They're cool. Unless you have the Tyranitar team, then you probably can't do it too well. But anyway,
I mean, hey, the snack can get you down there.
That's true until you die. But we got Ethan and Corey. I've been waiting to watch this one.
I
heard that this one has some funny interactions, and I will
just let it go.
So here's Clamperl, and
you know that 1 out of every 4 Clamperls does not have HP Grass.
It doesn't.
Ethan makes his teams by himself, which is really cool because he's been managing to bring, I think, some of the best ideas anyone's brought this year. But then he loses his matchups by missing out on like a critical coverage move every once in a while. And I think if he just ran his team by to someone before his matches to see like, hey, am I missing something? It would definitely help. Also, we appreciate Corey getting Doug Trio in safely
because now we have gotten a Doug Trio trap correctly. This is good. We have
yeah, exactly the perfect one too. It's on Lantern before you got a sub up. Wow.
Yep.
Right. All you get out of it, if you're Ethan, is a subbed up Ninjask, and that's not a big deal. Because here comes Acid Armor Vaporeon to stand here with you.
Do we see Silver and boost? No boost.
No boost. Sad.
Sad.
Well, like, imagine if that Lantern was around now with these boosts and electric. Like, would be really convenient. But unfortunately, I don't know who he's going to pass this to because that's dead.
Yeah, so there's one thing. It's like you definitely don't need this much speed. Honestly, at like +2, you're going to outrun like the entire metagame anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And the only thing he could be possibly getting the speed for is Clamperl, but Clamperl's almost dead.
There's Breloom.
So here's Breloom, which I think is a fantastic choice this week.
Yeah. Also, I love that that Corey also read the, okay, this is the BP turn. Let me get out of here too, and then he got switch advantage.
Well, he had no reason not to just go into Hariyama, because this Hariyama does have Whirlwind, right? So even if he doesn't BP, he gets the freest of Whirlwind, but Ethan gets the right call there and goes into...
You're the first turn wake up.
He gets first into a wake up and then Ninja dies.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. No spinner?
Really bold. Really bold of Ethan to bring a team with no spinner against an Omastar lead.
Yeah.
And Shedinja on his team's like, you hate to see it, but now we're just getting whirlwinded over and over again. We're watching the spike damage rack up. And looking at who's left, Clamperl dies on entry, right?
Yep.
And there's 3 physical attackers. Who stops Tyler Durden?
Yeah.
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 Maybe Protect Metagross, which I think is actually pretty funny.
Yeah, his Toxic Protect Metagross is very strong. Definitely a good Pokemon to try out. But yeah, we're just gonna get some chop in, and
we're hoping for crits here on both players.
Yeah.
And that's
good knock just to get that lifties. You know,
yeah, I was waiting. I was like, he's been protecting on the knock turns lately, and now the protects literally mean nothing. He can try and stall the cross chops, but you're not going to stall all 8 of them. So you're hoping for a crit meteor mash at this point, which he is not getting.
No, or attack boost or anything.
He's not getting anything.
He's gonna blow up and say, you know what? Fuck
he's
it.
Done. He says, I'm done here. And goodbye, Clamperl.
Yeah.
This is like the 1 week where I would have recommended bringing Armaldo, not only for spin, but just because that bug typing and his physical defense can help take on.
Also, shout out Celebi living that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He definitely wouldn't have lived if it was an HP bug, sadly. But no boost from the double Silver Wind, which I still think is better on your Baton Passer anyways. So.
Yeah, I can agree.
You're going to love the fact that Doug Trio is in here trying to win this game with HP Flying, I think.
I think it's really funny because he's going to do it.
Guess he's going to do it, right?
Woo!
Kaboom! Right. It's definitely banded. If this was the funny silk sand or whatever set that he wanted to run, soft sand.
Oh, yeah, no.
He actually might not have killed with the HP Flying on Breloom, so that's why he is banded.
Yeah. So
now
we're gonna save ourselves here. Yeah.
Hold on, you need to see how much damage that Silverwind did to Doug Trio. That's pretty good.
That's Doug Trio. I'm surprised that kill.
That's big Doug Trio right there.
So we go into game 2.
Yeah,
and
game
now
2,
we
hopefully...
see this spike is literally a free kill.
Yeah, so it should be turn 1 every time. Yep. And there's HP Electric. Not HP Grass. Sadly.
Not Grass.
And I really, really would have liked if Ethan kept his Clamperl healthier if he didn't have HP Grass. I think this thing actually goes crazy this week, and now it's just dead.
Now he's dugged. Boom. Gone.
Right. He got dugged.
So here comes 12.
So I think that's the perfect Baton Pass recipient versus Corey's team, specifically. But 12 goes for Meteor Mash, does about 20, and says, I'm done here.
Yeah, so Moff Gideon's going to come in here and start to get some acid armors.
Pause right here. So Ethan did notice that, he was going to have Baton Pass to Doug Trio. Unfortunately for him, and he was told after the match, that he did not see the leftovers on turn 5 of who went first, and he called the Doug Trio switch there with Surf. That would have killed, but he was faster. So unfortunately for him, he surfed the Vaporeon, and now he's dead.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, but that's a great read. But yeah, definitely.
It was a great read. Oh, fantastic read. If they're honestly, I'm going to stop running lefties just so nobody knows my speed at this point. But like, it's that little vital information you just missed out on because I love the read. I think it was a fantastic idea.
Sure. That's some like game-winning stuff right there.
Yeah,
but
but
now
Doug Trio has 2 times defense
now
and EQs
Clan
you and you
Pearl
die.
is
And
gone. Crit for good
really
measure.
cool crit. We have now seen Doug Trio take 2 lives.
Yes, Doug Trio has been.
And it was like
stealing
it's the
souls.
it's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Now go to bed.
Yep. But Celebi says no.
Yeah, and this Paralym hitting Spore again, expecting him to switch out.
Good play.
But it's not a good play because
he's shown that he's not going to do it now.
You. Yeah. Now, if he had HP bug and was just trying to make mixes, sure. But you can see with that focus punch doing a crit 64, he does not have HP bug. No. And now you're awake, and now you're dead. So losing one of your only other good recipients of Baton Pass, because right now the only things left are, Shedinja, who's done, unfortunately dies.
Yeah.
And Ninjask, who now has like nobody to pass to. So I like these like reads Ethan's going for. I think they're great. But you also have to like threat assessment, like, oh, if I don't have the right moves to take on what's in front of me, how can I get into a better position? Because like if this Breloom had the right moves, if the Clamperl had the right moves, I think this game he can make all these reads and it would be so much better. But they, were missing important coverage moves, and now he's in a really tough spot.
Yeah. I think that's another thing, just like with like building teams on your own, is like when I build for draft, I have the sheet up. I look at all the Pokemon my opponent can bring, and I go and I look at my moveset and I look at default sets and I go, do I need that? You look at them and it's like, oh, I'm going up against Celebi with Breloom. Well, I know I don't run grass moves. He usually just runs like all fighting moves and Spore.
Yeah.
I could probably fit on HP Bug, and Celebi won't be an issue if it switches in to go to bed. You know?
Like especially if you want to build by yourself, which is completely fine and cool, just make sure you've got, just check your opponent's team sheet. That's the only piece of advice I'd be saying. Like everyone should do that every week. Just say, hey, am I missing something that's really important? Should my Swallow have HP Ghost this week, or HP, HP Bug, or HP Fighting? In this case, should my Breloom have HP Bug? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Or even just HP Ghost, something to give a little extra coverage. But we do have Ninjask in here trying with his little heart to do what he did versus Will and get the 1 in 1,000. But
he's trying to do it.
He is not. He's actually getting a little unlucky, I think, with how many he's hit at this point.
Yeah.
But here comes Speedy Metagross, and that is defense boosted Vaporeon right now. So this is the worst nightmare.
Missing Meteor Mash, which is unfortunate, but there's a little wish.
Little wish. Wish upon a star. Does he get it again?
You got the crit, so I think that evened out. But not really.
Yeah, except he got his HP back, and now it doesn't matter. What he actually needs is 2 critical hit Meteor Mashes.
Oh my
God. The game is effectively
there
over
it
here.
is!
He gets another one. He got another one. He's so gamer.
So this Vape is just getting a +6.
It is, yeah. I wonder what's going to happen next.
Yeah. I wonder if there's
a
certain
Corey
guy...
Corey in the call said, I'm going to throw by bringing in Doug Trio here. I said, my brother in Christ, what do you mean? You can just go back to Vaporeon. You can just go back to Vaporeon if it for some reason lives. Also, that's how much did I do? 42%?
I did 42. That's Doug Trio, and that's Metagross, dude.
Really, really, really weird things you don't expect to see every day.
No, yeah. But at this point, it's Ninjask versus the world. Oh, Dragonite's here.
He was here. And even better, he I believe he's a DD set for like no good
No,
reason.
he's got Roar!
I believe he is actually DD Roar 2 attacks. Specifically, getting that technology in to beat the Baton Pass chains.
Hell yeah, that. That's awesome.
So I love
That's a great set.
I love this set.
That's really
and maybe this set is why you run HP Rock on your Ninjask. I don't know.
I don't know.
Then does not matter. He is dead. And
yeah,
really good. Just complete shutdown by Corey, dugging like everything. Literally every single mon.
Yep. That's how you do it.
Even Metagross. Crazy. Yeah. But we love to see it. Good job, Corey. And it was a fun set for both players.
Funny.
I know the crowd was eating that one up.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Tyranitar Gaming, Jolteon Gaming.
I'm very upset at Hall's nickname here.
Well, I eat pigeon.
Why does he hate Pidgeot?
No, it's just for pigeons.
Oh, they're different. You're right.
Yeah, they're built different.
Anyways, we do have a respectable T-Tar team this week. Has isn't gonna lose instantly to what was it last week? Diglett. Yeah, it's not gonna lose to Diglett. Yeah.
So here's Iron Defense on Registeel. Registeel is going for the Credilli route of just setting up to stupid high levels and just kind of being there.
I love this set, Matt.
I think it's really funny, but unfortunately,
here's Haze.
It is not going to do it today.
For like Registeel standards, right? There's like two ways to think about it. You can run the curse set, or you can die to Doug Trio. And this is just the funnier version of the curse set, in my opinion.
This is the funnier way to die to Doug Trio. Speaking of dying, goodbye Slow King.
Yeah, I can't believe Hall actually ran, what was it, like max, like he put like 70 speed.
He put a lot of speed
to outspeed. Max speed Slow King. My man is on a different level. Also, Dragonite's dead.
Also, Dragonite's dead.
Dragonite is not Flygon. He is dead.
No.
He is not built special. He is not built defensively. He is built offensively.
He is not built different.
Like and here comes the best. Here comes the best DD counter in the game.
Anyway, here's Greg.
Right? Yeah, good old Greg. What's he gonna do?
Well, and if you fellas at home like Greg, please like the video for Greg.
Bro, I was like, I'm gonna go pick up Greg in free agency. I went, oh man, Hall's in my conference. I can't do that. He's not trading him.
No.
This man makes breakfast.
Dude, he does make breakfast. What do you think?
Like,
what breakfast does he make? Is he a steak and eggs guy? I feel like he definitely is.
Absolutely a steak and eggs guy. Look at those. Look at that mouth. That mouth wants steak.
Mouth.
And he got it because no, his only special attacker missed Fire Blast. You hate to see it.
Very sad. Blaziken goes down. I like that Hall has said, I don't really care that you're Blaziken. Greg has done his job. I'm going on a rampage.
Yeah, gets another crit.
I know,
this match was absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
No shot.
And then Greg is gonna do 58% through Reflect.
I do find it funny that Greg is slower than Amphi, though. I really don't think it's that slow.
Yeah. Also 58%.
And even with the Reflect up, he is not living this Earthquake at 42.
No.
So,
that
goodbye.
Is that. So.
But hey, Amphi took a stock.
Amphi did take a stock.
And Hall got a nice, easy Gramble sweep.
Yeah, Gramble, he did
that
a great
120
job.
Base attack is nothing to joke of.
Yeah. So we go back into this game, right? We're gonna kind of see what we're doing. You go right to Amphi, but no, the mole
Nope,
people.
you can't do that. You cannot do
that.
Against the trio teams.
You gotta be careful.
You are not ever allowed to bring in your electric type.
No.
I don't care if it's your electric resist. You don't bring it in.
No, yeah, it's.
So good job by Hall going immediately into Doug Trio.
Yep, this is the free BP. If Chris wants to make the play, then he makes the play.
Right. And we do see Dragonite is actually that dog. He does have it in him. He does take on an Ice Beam from Blastoise. He doesn't hit as hard. But he looks like he's trading his Dragonite out for Blastoise, which, no, I guess not the worst move.
Yeah.
Because now Slow King has a little bit easier of a time breaking.
Yeah, Slow King can do some things.
All mine shenanigans if he wants to, but he does just hit Psychic.
But here's Houndoom.
Yeah, I didn't get this. Where's Jolteon? What's going on here?
That's a great question.
Certainly a question of all time.
Certainly a decision, especially with the crunch only doing 42 and then dying. So.
Now that being said, the crunch does lead him into Dougie range, I believe, but he still sends in Jolteon.
Might not be Doug range.
It's close.
T-Bolt.
And that takes a ton of damage, that T-Bolt. You can see the lack of item either implies a Lumberry because, he's not choice banded as we saw by the DD earlier. Yeah. And Greg is the ultimate counter to that.
Yeah, and we're sacking
that was the one thing I don't get why Chris is sacking his Blaziken there, because he's got to hit Earthquake to break your sub, right? You are minus, but that Fire Blast comes in later and kills it.
Yep.
So just the Houndoom's dead, the Blastoise is dead. Yep. You don't sack your Blaziken.
It's just patience,
Yeah, patience. And you don't care if you honestly don't care if Doug Trio comes in later and kills your Blaziken, because at this point you want to keep you're sacking everything just to get rid of Registeel here. To have Registeel sweep at the end. But you can't, you still want to take out a few more dudes on the way, give you a less chance to get crit, or in this case, get set up, bulk up, get bulk up rested. So. And we see Registeel actually going for Seismic Toss here, which I think with the Sand Chip will 3-shot, because the Sand Chip will come before the lefties.
4-shot, because it's got too much HP.
Too much HP moment. We love Gramble. Anyways, it does 19%. But now he's fully defensed up. So the only answer here for Hall is either get Wheezing in and haze, or crit.
So,
What
all
do
right,
you think- what do you
vote
think
in the
he's gonna do?
comments. What do you think will happen?
Oh, I'm gonna put my answer as rest.
You think he's gonna go to bed?
I think he's gonna rest
What do you
first.
Or you think he's gonna crit?
Oh!
Oh! He went
Crushing.
for the Amnesia. Ooh.
Oh, no, you gotta side the toss there. You have to make
You
one.
gotta go for the kill because, boom,
It's
Greg.
so much over.
Greg has done it.
Yeah, when you're wall and when you do the funny cradle set, right, and you don't have shell armor, you always have to respect the super effective crit dude in front of you who's boosting with bulk up.
You can have the unkillable beast, but if you get crit, it doesn't matter, and you can't even be like mad about it.
And that Registeel had rest, and Jolteon is not going to deal too much damage, so you don't need the Amnesia, right? Like, it's completely irrelevant against the guy that you're against, and you can just do it later next turn if Jolteon comes in. So, I mean, if you're trying to PP stall, you still hit Seismic Toss, because then he would rest, right? And if he doesn't rest, he's dead. So, that's the turn 21 mistake, but hey, Hall at least didn't make us watch about 80 turns of that. So good
That's
job,
true.
Hall.
So good crit. So here we go. This is our last set of the week. We got Tim and JT. This is the first set played, and will be the last set we talk about today. So looking at lead, we got Gardevoir and Arcanine. We see Trace, Intimidate. It does not work like that.
It's so sad.
It is very sad.
And Tim goes into Sableye probably expecting E-Speed. Unfortunately for him, that's his physical wall. And this is a mixed Arcanine that does a lot of damage.
And then we see Swampert coming in. And we know that there's probably going to be an HP Grass eventually. And Tim hitting Hydro Pump. Good for Tim.
Oh,
this character
brave.
development.
That's a brave character development hitting Hydro Pump, because that does catch the Swampert on the switch in pretty hard.
So I think
this
this switch is very interesting because one, that Arcanine did not go for HP Grass. So either JT knows his damage range, or he doesn't have HP Grass.
Oh, my number one guess is always JT just knows it's not going to kill.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at 6 months. I'm looking at Hariyama running HP Grass at this point too, you know?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'm checking all of them. And Sableye loses lefties. This is actually a great mon to bring in on Hariyama because
you can just
he cannot break you.
Yeah.
But you gotta recover up, right? Like, don't go down. Like, this is a huge loss here of Sableye. When you don't know what he's gonna hit you with, sure, but if you get that recovery, you wall it forever. You can knock off its lefties later.
Yeah, for sure. But also, you get the free entry of Gardevoir, and Hariyama does live, which is crazy. But it goes for Whirlwind.
Which is kind of weird. And didn't get that.
Yeah.
But we do have, because I mean, he managed to knock off Vileplume's lefties, which is pretty nice. And I got Scizor here, and JT substitute scouting, obviously. No going to bed.
I think he's going for his thing.
No.
It's like his little gimmick, because knowing JT, like, that's what he uses Scizor for. He had a game plan with this thing.
Yeah.
To get his stats passed and go. And it was more of like, yeah.
He definitely was also just scouting to see if Vileplume had HP Fire, because if it didn't, he can then even if he wasn't the Baton Pass set, he can just sub SD up and win the game.
Yeah.
But now something else is asleep, and here comes Vileplume.
And a really good switch from Tim.
Cool. We're back to the leads again.
Yeah, so we're back to square one, and now Arcanine is chipped a little bit, and Gardevoir could take that and do 65%.
Yeah, this is like, I look at Gardevoir, and I know it has Fire Punch, and I look at the rest of his team, and I go, oh my god, it destroys right now what's so far been shown.
Yeah. And there's Aerodactyl, but you know.
And you still have max HP Swampert, so you can take that.
Yeah, so you got Swamp. Swamp is looking really nice right now, and this is a free Hydro Pump.
Boom, 35, especially defensive moment.
And
so we hit HP Grass.
HP Grass.
Let's see, we get the EQ. I mean, JT must have had HP Grass on his too, right?
I don't think he did.
And it looks like his was always slower, so guessing not a speed tie. So good build on Tim Swampert there to outspeed for sure. And then protecting here,
just to scout it.
A little bit bold. I know you're scouting the HP Grass, but that Arcanine could have subbed that turn. It has shown that it has it. And you do have right now what looks to be a really free Arcanine switching at all times with Charizard.
Except it isn't.
Well, we don't know that yet. At the time, it was showing only fire, sub, and grass moves, right?
And I really like Tim staying in here with Charizard, being like, you know what? Go for it. Make my day.
I really wish this was the SD Select Berry set, though. I feel like that would have gone crazy against Arrow instead of just being dead weight every time Arrow came in.
Yeah, but now Swampert's
a future thing.
Yeah.
And now it's Sleeping Tentacruel versus a Gardevoir and a Swampert with EQ. Yeah, it's over.
And it's done. Goodbye, Tentacruel. Yeah.
So JT, I know he didn't do very good. This set, he definitely never got the momentum going.
Yeah.
On this game.
Yeah.
But I remember when he was in the call, he gathered a ton of information in this game. He was constantly saying, okay, that's what you are. This is what I'm doing. He's noting down what everything is.
Yeah.
And it shows in his next game.
Yeah, so we see Swampert, like, all right, this Swampert's got Hydro Pump. It's faster than his Swampert. He's taking about 45% from Double Edge. Yep. We're seeing, okay, this Gardevoir is really strong. All right, I got to play around it safer. Charizard's got Earthquake, so Arcanine's not as free on it. Right? Like, we knew what Vileplume was going to do, so that's, you know, that's not much there. We see that this is a one-hit KO on Tentacruel.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like that's standard, but yeah.
I don't know. Fizdev, like, Tentacruel is one of those mons that, like, lives forever.
Tentacruel's not that physically defensive.
You invest.
There was a world where I was running HP Grounded and Colo to try and beat it. I swear.
So here we go with game 2. Both of them stay in. Tim goes for the Psychic 67. I think Tim can kind of see, like, all right, I gotta get rid of Arcanine because this thing has been an issue, and I think you're okay with taking the 2 flamethrowers and throwing off big hits.
Oh yeah, no, just throwing off as many Psychics as possible because.
I was like, watch this, my Swampert.
Oh, he's dead. He had HP Grass too. That's hysterical.
Yeah. So now with just Gardevoir, you lowered Arcanine down so much, you got rid of Swampert, and you've just sat here and hit moves, which is a great start. And now you got to play the Aerodactyl game.
And the Aerodactyl game is never keeping your Gardevoir on Aerodactyl.
Yeah, that was not the play.
Yeah,
because we just saw, wow, this thing just destroyed his entire team.
Yeah, it one-shot Scizor. It can one-shot Tentacruel. It can trade with Arcanine. It can one-shot. It can two-shot Hariyama because Hariyama's fat, right? But you can beat it. So you do not sack the Gardevoir there. You go into one of your 3 Aerodactyl counters, and maybe one of them dies. But that's okay. You got the other 2 still.
Yeah.
I do like the Sableye knocking off right here and tossing. And I like that toss damage on Scizor, but then I noticed he doesn't have lefties,
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to see Slackberry.
Do some shenanigans.
and he's going.
He's going. Now, JT was very sad because he said, oh man, the Sableye Seismic Toss threw me off, right? This reversal would have killed. And I said, no way, right?
No.
I counted it killed.
Wow.
It needed to be at 1 HP. It needed that 200% base power, but Scizor does have that dog in him, just not at 15%. And right here, I sure hope Tim went for knockoff. You got to get that Sableye HP back, so get that recover up when you can. Boom.
Yes.
And then I'm not sure what JT's plan is here, staying in with Hariyama, maybe just chip it down to a range, but he doesn't need to get out of here.
Yeah, because now Sableye is kind of running amok here.
And Tim gets really lucky with that Hydro Pump miss.
Yeah, that was huge.
And I think he took I don't think he took long enough to realize that if Tentacruel's hitting Hydro Pump, he is extremely specially offensive, right?
Also,
and then he also just
Glalie just exploded. He just said, "Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna do me.
I'm done here."
Yeah.
I do wonder why Glalie didn't come in on maybe like the Tentacruel, or why it needed to boom that turn. I'm not sure what it catches on the boom, really.
It might have been Hariyama. He might have been trying to, or he just said, you know what, I'm going to blow up on Tentacruel.
Yeah. He wanted to boom Tentacruel, I think, for sure.
But, like, you have the Swampert, who's, we've seen, just kills it, so.
Yeah, and then you still have your Glalie around, and whatever's in the back, I honestly forgot. You have the rock. You have the guy that doesn't die to Rock Slide in the back.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like right here on this turn, it's like you could just be like, oh yeah, stay in and sack Swampert. No, Tim made the right play, I think. Even if it's like you have to play the sack game later.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you have to do because right now, like you can get rid of Arcanine here.
Yeah, you definitely just like throw out not flamethrowers. Sorry, you can't throw out Earthquake. No, sorry, you do throw out flamethrowers because Earthquake is.
So right here, this was a turn to sack Charizard, because
Charizard
then you
was
get
doing nothing
Swampert in
back
for free, and you get a KO with Hydro Pump.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you died to HP Flying. What you
Shot.
could do though,
Dude, no,
is
there's
you
no
could,
way. Double Edge did 45.
You're probably right. But yeah, you don't bring in the you definitely like sack the Charizard because he is the worst of the bunch right now. And Vileplume is good enough to take a hit from both.
And the Protect there was like one of those where it's like, sure, you want some more lefties, but like, I don't know, it's one of those things where Arcanine can't beat Zard. And I think it comes a little bit of like game sense of knowing, okay, Swampert is in, I don't have to worry about checking Aerodactyl right now. I could get a kill on it, or if he wants to go to Arcanine and get the kill, you get it. Then you get your lefties, and then you protect when Arrow comes back in.
Here's the biggest issue, right? If you go back in turn, right, and Tim is playing, this game where Aerodactyl is now in at 100%, and he's locked in HP Flying. Okay, well, like you said, Double Edge does 45, which is his strongest move. If he switches, you lose the game. If he kills you, you lose the game. But if you hit a move and he doesn't kill you, you win the game. Yep. So, like, it's very favored in your situation to just hit the move there. Mm-hmm. And it can really, I mean, if you miss Hydro Pump, you miss Hydro Pump. That's Pokemon.
Yeah.
But JT is forced to sack something here by you hitting Hydro Pump, mm-hmm. or you get the crit and wins. Like, that is the only situation
Pump
left.
Kills everything.
Stalling doesn't help you.
Yeah. It's a KO. Like, Hydro Pump will get a kill, because you'll live the arrow hit, and you'll kill it with Pump. And then Arcanine comes in, and you just spam Earthquake until you die, because you don't let him sub, and you go Charizard and you win.
Right. Like that's the turn 25 endgame. I guess, I mean, obviously, lefties are good, but this is the downside of not knowing how much damage can happen, right? Like not seeing, oh, hey, even if you don't use a calculator, right? Like even just going back in the match and seeing what a damage roll is can be very helpful. That's a lot of times when I'm in a match, I don't even look at the calculator. I just look at the previous match turns and go, okay, that's what I can expect. Yeah. I can use that information.
So right here, we're now in a spot because JT went for sub.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, Tim is right back where he needs to be. You can go into Charizard and basically force the end game again. But instead, Swampert goes down.
Yeah, at worst, you got a 50-50, right? You go into Charizard, and if he doesn't double into Arrow, you win the game, right? Mm-hmm. But now you have the worst of situations, which is the Charizard into Aerodactyl instead of the Swampert Aerodactyl, and you explode, and two, you'd never kill it anyways. So. Yeah. I don't actually think JT played the end game super well, but he did clutch up when he needed to. So.
Yeah, I would say the end game is more on like I think Tim had the momentum. And I think he took his foot off the gas with going for the Protect, where he could have iced it out, like that was it. But it's hard to think multiple turns ahead sometimes, especially when like you don't believe in yourself. Tim, this is a call out. Believe in yourself, and know that you just put yourself in a really good position against a good player, and you can clutch out the win. Take the time and think past just okay. Oh, I need to keep Swampert. Nothing can happen to him. I got to protect him. You need to look at your position and go, okay, Swampert's main job has been to check Aerodactyl. You just got Swampert in safely on Aerodactyl, who threatens it out. And he has two Pokemon. They're both weak to water. Swampert can get kills and start doing the damage and doing the things you need Swampert to do.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, we got a game 3 out of this.
We do get a game 3. So let's go into it. So let's see if Tim can kind of fix up some of the little slip ups in this one.
Yeah. Now I really like just spamming Psychic over and over again as Gardevoir. I don't believe you'll ever need after seeing what it did in game 2, you don't need to switch out.
This was crazy because one, if you would click Psychic on that Aerodactyl.
It was not dead.
It was not dead, but
it would have been nice.
Yeah. So JT makes the super aggressive play there.
Yeah, second JT, I'm sure he didn't expect Charizard to come in. I know he said he just sent it in because he knew it could take the Psychic and then kill it back in one shot. But that is also really brave of JT.
That's ballsy.
Even if he didn't get the Charizard switch, getting your best killer in and hoping it doesn't get crit is pretty pretty crazy because it still does about 90, right?
Yeah.
Like it's still ridiculous. So you
Like,
gotta literally
that's not even like when you think about it, like that is a bad play. Like going right into Aerodactyl, who has been your win condition the entire time, on turn 2 to eat a powerful move, and if you get crit, you lose.
Now, JT lied to me and said, yeah, I expect the Charizard double switch. I would have believed it. So,
yeah.
Then I would have been like, yo, JT's actually the biggest gamer.
Yeah.
But
at that point, like, you sack
Arcanine
and get the chip, and then you could go into Aerodactyl and scare it out and put yourself back in the position.
Yeah, I feel like Arcanine's job wasn't super important. I mean, yeah, it was there. It could do stuff for Vileplume, but you have Aerodactyl. You didn't need to send the Aerodactyl in. But Tim gets a little lucky here. He misses the Rock Slide, so we're back to like at square one now. And Tentacle comes in to eat the knock / pump out. So now we get the switch that you should be going for. But JT makes a fantastic read and hits Ice Beam.
Yep.
We love that.
Really good play.
Something is going to bed, though. And in this case, it's Scizor.
Who is
which
not going to do anything in this set.
He's a fantastic sleep sack.
Yep.
JT has started his gaming.
Yep. So then Tim just kind of goes, when he's had his Vileplume in, he's kind of gone with a little bit of a flowchart. Where it's like, all right, Vileplume, sleep, seed, damage. And JT kind of said, okay, I'm going to jump the gun and I'm going to put myself in the position where I can take advantage of this. So you sleep the least important Mon. It's game 3. You know pretty much everything about Tim's team, except for Glalie because it boomed. But we know what Glalie does. It does one thing.
It booms. Bottom text.
Yeah. So, like Scizor, it's not going to do anything. All right, let it go to bed. Sleep absorb. Great. Okay, I want to go into Hariyama. I want to knock. I'm going to push my advantage now. That's phenomenal.
Like I said, I do find it interesting that he could have gone into Tentacle for a very free Leech Seed switch, but he's working on his knockoff game plan.
Yeah, he wants to get rid of the items.
Yeah,
and he's
so
willing
I
to
don't
take the
hate
seed to do it, so I think it's fine.
And at some point, and this is a big mistake, right? At some point, you can't, you got to keep your Sableye around if you want it to do things. Don't let it be the special wall when its job is to check Aerodactyl from hitting double edge, because now Aerodactyl doesn't care. You can just spend Rock Slide into you. Sadly, you lose your Gardevoir on this pump here too. Tentacle's a big problem. I think this is starting to be noticed. A little too late, maybe.
Yeah, especially like by this game 3, because it's always been a situation where, all right, Swampert has killed it with Earthquake, yeah, no problem. We've seen how important Gardevoir is. We can kind of make this. This is very similar to how JT brought in Aerodactyl to take the powerful hit, and then just dish out the damage. Gardevoir has kind of been like the arrow for Tim. Granted, it's a lot slower, but going into the Ice Beam is fine if you know you're going to outspeed the Tentacruel. But if you look at speed tiers and knowing Tim's Gardevoir is pretty slow, you're going to get outsped, and that Hydro Pump, we've seen it do good damage.
God, what was that item on that Tentacruel? It's not even lefties.
I don't know what it is. Who knows?
Who knows? JT moment. But yeah, now he sends in Charizard, which is a good, a good mid ground. But you've lost, you lost your Sableye HP effectively. He's effectively dead. Vileplume's very low, can't take a hit anymore. Charizard just exploded to HP Rock, which was not revealed until just now. So
and forgetting that Hariyama could be Guts or Thick Fat, and then.
Oh, but he's not. Don't worry, he's Guts.
He's not.
No, he's not. He just took that hit. That's a very physically offensive Glalie, not specially offensive. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he just took the hit.
Yeah. So right here, you know how I always talk about boom when it's necessary. Yeah. That's a boom turn.
Yeah.
That's boom turn. Because now, even if you were slower and you got up a sub, your Glalie's at 4% or 16, whatever.
Right.
It's done its job. It's not going to switch in again. It's going to be slower than Tentacruel. Right? Scizor you can't really beat it anyway. So.
Oh, this is just a problem with Tim's team. Is everything is now taking too much damage and nothing's able to stand up to a hit anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to sack the low H. Oh, okay, Swampert, I guess you're just built different. Yeah. Seeing as how well he got on the front foot games 2 and 3, he definitely fell games 1 and 2, he fell on the back foot here on game 3, and it definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I know JT was gaming out of his mind too.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta know when to sack and do, because here comes 4 dudes all under like 10% that are just dead weight effectively.
Because like regardless if you win the game with 5 Mons alive or 1, you win the game. So like keeping low HP mons around sometimes for free stacks is a valid strategy, but in situations where it's like, you know, oh, I need to get Gardevoir in, add my Sableye at 12%, probably let Sableye go down. And then, yeah, now you have to worry about Aerodactyl spamming Double Edge. But that's something you have to kind of be like, am I willing to live with this right now? And then make that adjustment, and then let your Gardevoir in afterwards to then start unleashing crazy damage, because it will get a kill and then get chased out by Arrow.
Also, I will give it to JT for keeping his Arcanine alive instead of just sacking it to the Gardevoir. Like, I mean, maybe he could have just sent, like, I know he doesn't have a good switch in, so that's why he did the Aerodactyl play, and it's crazy, but I do like that he kept the Arcanine. Whether, like, maybe he could have sacked Scizor if it was less valuable or whatever, but, like, he played his game plan as, I know what Mon needs to go to bed. I know what Mon needs to stay alive. I know which Mon needs to kill XYZ, and in this game he got everything he was looking for, and Swampert didn't even get to touch the field yet, included in all that. So like,
yeah,
it's a good routing by JT, and I think if Tim made a few different decisions in sack, like when to sack and when to switch in mons, then he could have regained the momentum, but it just didn't happen this game.
Yeah, and I think like granted, like JT was able to then, like, once he got Arrow in on that crazy what ended up being a double switch, was that was it. When that happened to Tim, it was like immediate, like, oh shit, I'm really on the back foot, and he hadn't been in that position the entire set, and to then understand what your back foot position is in the last game when you're already kind of stressed out, it's not easy.
It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah. So.
Well, it was fun set. I think it was one of our best. I mean, it's the last set, so it's the best set.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good fun set.
So, here we go. It's time for rankings.
Ooh, everyone's favorite.
Yes, this is why we tune in. So, number one is your boy, Skarmory Gaming.
Market, baby. You're really showing why he is the biggest bird.
I sell spikes.
Lots of spikes.
Buy one, get 3 free. So.
Hey, no, I don't want 3.
Number two, we got Will. I think it's time we gave Will the recognition. After doing really well against Atomic, team we had up in the top 3 last week. It's really good showing, and it was good to get like a really quality showing that wasn't like a, oh, yeah, Will got kind of lucky in this one, you know, kind of thing. But that was authoritative.
Yeah, I think Will is primed for a big run this year. Now that he going from what we thought was a terrible draft to turns out actually pretty decently built team. Like,
yeah,
even with all the birds, it's showing like this is actually the generation of birds. You know, no stealth rocks.
Yep.
Not a lot of good rock moves in general.
Yep.
And it's lovely to see, honestly.
Yeah, Brian, we got you at 3. You got real lucky in that game 1, and
yeah,
I know you have your opinions on your team, but you know, still undefeated. No. So
still up there. Only 1 of 3, and after this week, it'll be 1 of 2 at most.
That's right. Number 4, we got Corey. Another good showing. Strong team. Dark Trio really is doing his thing.
Yeah, really. This week for Corey was less so the power of the rest of his teams, and pretty much just, hey, here's Doug.
I could do Doug things now. That was like
I'm not gonna drop Doug in free agency. We'd love to hear it. You know.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I figured it out. I know what to do, and it makes my life a lot easier. And sometimes you just need one of those weeks to kind of be like, oh yeah, right, I have the broken thing.
Yeah.
I'm using it well now. This is funny. Plus, you know, you get to move to number 4 because Doug Joe took 46% from Meteor Mash, and that's hilarious.
He wasn't even to do it.
I know. JT at number 5. Honestly, I'd probably put JT at 4 if the set had gone a little differently, because Tim easily could have won that game too.
Yeah.
And you know, so a little bit of fortunate luck there, but that game 3 was pretty dominant. So top 5 performance.
Definitely nice to see a JT game 3 win.
Yeah. We got Atomic down at 6. Kind of got gooped up a little bit, but Steam's still really strong. First real, like, I don't want to say like, I'd say it's like an opponent that's like up in that like upper echelon where like, yeah, this team is really good. You know, if we go strictly off the PR, this is Drew's first like fight in the top 5, and I think he showed up.
Yeah. but he didn't. He didn't get the win, obviously. So he's got to follow it.
Yeah.
And Will showed that Zapdos is probably better than Metagross. So. Not really, but anyways.
Not really, but anyway, yes. Bandit number 7. Bandit's playing well.
Yeah, Bandit got a good dub this week.
Good dub,
And he's definitely a part of sure, he's at the bottom of the 4-1 dudes, but that doesn't mean anything. He is certainly right up there in terms of being tough to play this year, and he's really putting his time and effort into coming in and just getting understanding of his team ahead of time before the matches, and I like to see that.
Yeah. Hall number 8. Hall played well.
Oh, our only 3 and 2 player, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and one of them's not even real because it was a bye.
Oh wow.
So.
But he certainly dugged as well. This was fantastic to see. Doug Trio gaming everywhere, and I liked his silly team. We give it up for Greg. Definitely a great bounce back week for Hall. And then Tim right below him.
Yeah,
with,
so Tim at number 9. We just
hey.
talked about him, but
we talked a lot about him in the last set.
It was a great showing. So it might have lost, but I feel like that's a win for your playing ability and your ability to put together a team and a game plan that works really well, because you were able to stuff we consider JT's team almost unstoppable when he's on, and you just kind of went in, slammed the door in his face in game 1, and was 1 or 2 plays off from just absolutely curb stomping him in game 2 too. So
right,
it was great.
Yeah, I'm seeing that 6 games won right now, and the 3 game 3s that he's had to play. He's brought a lot of close sets. So while he does have a hard gauntlet of opponents coming up, I think he's got to keep that confidence, because you've shown you're able to get those wins, and even in previous seasons you've shown you've been able to win in the big time. So
yeah. We got
Next
David.
We have
David at 10. I'm looking at the list now. I mean, I think David's a great player. I just think his team needs the speed. They need speed, but I don't know. He's been very unlucky.
Yeah, I would say out of all the players, David is doing his best to adapt his weaknesses in his way. He is taking this team and saying, "Oh, dang it, I really did draft a slow team," and then he just starts building this Thunderwave spam, thiefing Dugong Persona 5 moment, and probably who knows what would happen. We definitely would have gone to game 3 if he got a little bit luckier in his game 1 set. So I think while the record isn't there, and while the team definitely has weaknesses that can be addressed in free agency, I've got no doubt in my mind he's going to bring it to somebody. It's only a matter of time. And in fact, if I recall, I think it's the T-Tar week next week, so we're going to see a little
Tyranitar Ditto.
Nice. I'm going to find out who's really the biggest Godzilla rock monster. Yeah, biggest star. But yeah, no, I mean, he's not getting big wins. But it's only a matter of time. And then for Ernest, who's right below him, good showing. Fantastic. I mean, you could totally put him in the top, all the way up to number 9 or whatever. He can flip back between these 2 and 3s, no problem.
Yeah.
I like his bounce back week, and he is. I mean, nobody expected Ditto, but
no, they never did.
And he certainly gained around the potential Ditto. So. Good job, Ernest.
Yes.
Liking the team.
Yeah, so Adam at 12. Adam had a bad week. I kind of have Adam's number, just in general. But
you have his number. You have a team that kind of deletes his, which is really funny.
It's rough matchup. The tough schedule's over. So we're
now it's time to see if he can clutch up.
If you've got the dog.
Does he have that dog in him, Matt?
Yeah, we're gonna see it come out, and we're not talking about Houndoom. Anyway, number 13, we got Ethan. It's coming. It's coming together. The gears are turning. It's so much better
than he was doing in the beginning.
Yes. Again, just one of those things in free agency, getting some consistent pieces to work with the funny gimmicks, because gimmicks can only go so far. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't even hate his team as it is. It's just if he wants to really commit a few pieces, he can absolutely trade out 1 or 2 and get something much more consistently defensive. But on paper, he's getting what he wants out of his team, but he does need to find maybe a different mix as well to keep people honest, because if he's just going to run baton pass, he's going to get countered every week. If he's able to do 2 things that you then have to prep for, which I think his team can totally do, then it gets scary.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things
keep
where it's
the gimmicks coming, keep thinking them out.
Yeah, we're on to Ninjask, so
we are on to Ninjask.
So
you can still bring him. I don't think he's bad.
Yeah. Just gotta not rely on it anymore.
Yeah, get that second bag secured at some point, and then you'll be really gaming. Then you'll see some wins flying in.
Yeah. All right, so 14 we got THT. It's there.
Chris.
Just gotta. You're a gamer.
No, it's not. He's having trouble this season.
I know. I'm trying.
I know he's had some bad luck, but I think you are right. The dog weeks are over. You know, go have fun again. I think this next week will be a real test for Chris. He is playing. You know, he's doing the T-Tar Ditto, where they kind of have the same mons for most of their top tiers.
Yeah,
So
a very similar team.
If he can show up versus David, then I think he's got game.
Because like we've seen both of these I'll call them Blaziken Tyranitar archetypes.
Yeah,
they're struggling, which is not. It's one of those things where it's like these are good. There's good Pokemon here, but against the teams that are rising to the top, their structure is not able to hang with them. So it's not like there's a lot of teams in here that are good, but they don't match up into the teams that are better into everyone else. So which is cool about our format, because this is the largest draft we ever had, and we're actually seeing like a real like metagame develop outside of like, oh, you know, the best players are gonna win. We're seeing like the best players are winning because this Pokemon is really good into this one, and these other teams that have like Tyranitar, who's the best, are struggling because what everyone else has just so happens to be really good into Tyranitar, and they can't get past that, which I think is really cool.
I do think that for THT to win until free agency, because he does need to fix his team with free agency, he's going to need to find out, try and maybe replicate what David's doing, try to get something cooking that allows your team to handle its weaknesses better. I mean, now that the dog weeks are over, that should be easier. Maybe look to David for some team thoughts on how that can be done, but not this week, obviously.
Yeah.
But he is showing up. He's getting a little unlucky. Let's see what next week provides. Now, the biggest gamer down here at 15.
You got Mr.
Just get Fortress and just lead Fortress. I don't care who your opponent is. I don't care if they're running a fire type. Just lead them.
Just get your bikes. You just find that your life is a lot easier, and please start bringing Raikou. You know,
that is his one win.
Raikou has won. Aaron has brought Raikou one time, and he has won
Aaron
that one
is
time.
Undefeated using Raikou.
Bring the good Pokemon. Leave the bad Pokemon at home.
Yeah,
if you want to seriously win,
Electrode, you know?
Yeah, if you want to win, bring the good Pokemon. If you want to just have fun, have a silly time, and lose, keep doing what you're doing.
You know, he's not always going to lose. You never know. Maybe that Wailord set will win one day.
Maybe.
But yeah, I do think, at least if you want to be silly, keep the mons that are actually able to do something alive at the end instead of Fortress, and that's the biggest change. Like, I know Aaron, he's a very funny guy, as in he will bring the silliest sets, but it is a little more fun when you actually get to use the silly sets.
Yes. So we got Jordan. Jordan was on bye this week.
Oh, it's right.
It's one of those where we'll have a lot more to talk about next week, because her game has already happened, so we won't touch on it too much right now. Mm-hmm. But you know, it'll come. It'll come.
Definitely look for. I say just for Jordan in general. Definitely feel free to play some practice games. I think you had a bye week, right? You didn't play against Drew, and you really only played like 2 or 3 games. I don't think you played. I think you played like 2 games up to this point. So like, if you feel uncomfortable with your team, just ask the player and figure them out on the fly. Like, I think you'll get more experience and understanding if you just throw them into situations and get the grasp of what they need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And 17, we got Dante.
Dante brought Ditto.
Yeah.
He should not be 17.
Yes,
he should be 1. No, he should be 1.
Number 1 in your heart.
Dante brought leading Ditto because he was told in the last PR, hey, stop leading Quagsire. So my man went to his team and said, you know what I think? I think I'm going to lead Ditto today. And honestly, it kind of worked.
Did it?
It was one of the good mons. It did call mine Baton Pass. You will never see that again.
No.
But yeah, Dante, listen to Matt's advice in the set. Don't bring so much status. I honestly don't think the team is that bad.
No, it's not.
Don't hate on Alakazam. I know you're hating on Alakazam. If you just run the 3 attack stat, you'll find it's a lot nicer than running knockoff Sam, I promise.
But
But until then,
yes.
Dante, feel free to come to one of us as always. We'll help you out.
Yeah.
And
I know it's been a while.
enjoy...
Week 1 came for help.
Yeah.
And week 1 went very well for you. So let's see if we can do that kind of magic again. But I think
there are
that's
2 game wins there.
Yeah. I think that's it for this week.
Yep.
As always, have a good day. Make sure that your knees don't look like Nick Chubb's.
No, I thought we were going to talk about this.
Look, we were talking about it before, so it has to be mentioned. Don't actually look that up.
Yeah, please don't. Instead, what you should look up...
Take my advice as a medical professional. Please don't look at that. You know what you should watch? You should go and watch ADV Revival on YouTuber Jimothy Cool's channel. There's a lot of cool ADV gaming going on if you're interested in the actual metagame at all. Apparently, some guy brought Duskull. I haven't watched that yet, but
Oh my god, is he trying to get more pain split? That's crazy.
I don't know, but that doesn't mean that we should do it in draft. But it's there. Watch it. It'll be a good time. Anyway, I have to leave. And Brian probably wants to eat dinner because it's about 6 o'clock now. So
yeah, it's dinner time.
Yes. Adios, pals.